warmly welcome you, I cordially invite Dr. Vajira De Silva, Dean, Faculty of Education, to deliver the welcome address.
Very good morning to all of you. The Vice Chancellor of the Open University of Sri Lanka, distinguished guests, and those joining us via Zoom, a very warm welcome to all of you. Today marks a significant milestone for the Faculty of Education as we gathered here for a research dissemination seminar on teacher education via ODL at OUSL, called Chair Research Project. This insightful research was conducted by Senior Professor Shironika Karunanayaka, called Chair Teacher Education, from September 2023 to April 2024, supported by the Commonwealth of Learning. It delves into the historical evolution of teacher education at OUSL over 4 decades, from 1980 to 2023. On behalf of the Faculty of Education, it is my distinct honor to extend a heartfelt welcome to our esteemed chief guest, Professor P.M.C. Tilakaratne, Vice Chancellor of the Open University of Sri Lanka. Your presence here today, sir, is deeply appreciated, and we thank for gracing this occasion with your presence. A warm welcome also goes to Dr. Ramula Rasool, Director, Postgraduate Institute of English, and Professor Manjula Vidanapatrana, who joining with us representing the Faculty of Education, University of Colombo. A special welcome to Dr. Tony Mayers, Director of Education, COL, and Dr. J. A. K. Oliver, Advisor for Higher Education, COL. Thank you for your kind support and online participation at this event. We are honored to have Emeritus Professor G.D. Lekamge, former Dean of the Faculty of Education, or OUSL, to share her insight in a special speech on a reflection on teacher education at OUSL. A warm welcome also extends to the members from the Faculty of Education, University of Colombo, and all the representatives from the Ministry of Education and the National Institute of Education. Your presence further strengthens the bonds of collaboration and mutual support in academia. I extend my warmest welcome to Professor Shyama Veerakon, Director Research, and all other directors, acting directors of OUSL, and all the elected members of the Faculty Board of Faculty of Education, members representing the Sri Lanka Association for the Advancement of Education, SLAD, and other educational institutions. Your presence enriches this occasion. Further, a heartfelt welcome to all professors, special invitees, academic staff, assistant registrar, non-academic staff, and support staff of the Faculty of Education. Your contributions and presence enrich this occasion beyond measure. In conclusion, I extend my sincere gratitude to every one of you for joining us today. May this seminar be a fruitful exchange of ideas and knowledge, and may it pave the way for transformative advancement in teacher education. Thank you, and good luck to all of you.
With that, it is now time for us to move on with the rest of the agenda. It is with great pleasure that I invite Senior Professor Shironika Karunanayaka, the Chair of Teacher Education, Commonwealth of Learning. She will provide an overview of the impact and the significance of the research done. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's my great pleasure to share with you today this research study that was conducted as part of my work as a COL chair. Actually, when I was appointed as a COL chair in April 2023, there was a requirement to provide an annual plan. Now, as usual, I came up with a lot of ideas and provided a list of things that we could do. But then, considering all, Col suggested to do a monograph on the work that we have been doing. So I thought that's a very good idea, because I have a very strong passion in teaching and teacher education as a former teacher for a decade and a teacher educator at this OUSL for 3 decades now. So with that passion, I thought it's good. There has been a lot of things being done during the past 4 decades, and they have been published and in different places. I thought it's a good time, it's a good opportunity to compile all these things and put everything together and synthesize and give a narrative account of our journey during these 4 decades. So that's what I'm going to do today. But now I will be giving a very brief overview, but later on you would be able to see the narrative account and the whole process of it. Okay, so let me move on. Right. Okay, so thank you. Teacher education, as I mentioned, has been there from the very beginning of our university. So I will give a brief introduction to the research study and the objectives, methodology adopted in the study, key findings, key outputs, and some concluding thoughts. Right. So as I mentioned, even though I was appointed as co-chair in April 2023, based on an MOU signed by OUSL with the Commonwealth of Learning, after the agreement has been signed to do this research project, which was again signed by the Vice Chancellor and the COL representatives, it was the study started in September 2023. Now the background, as I mentioned, the Open University is the premier open and distance learning institution in Sri Lanka, ODL institution. And since its inception in 1980, OUSL has been offering teacher education programs. So I will come to that later, but over the years, up to now, they have gradually expanded, extended, and has been improved in so many ways. So this research study explored the historical development of teacher education at OUSL via ODL, and mainly focusing on pedagogical advancements and technological integrations. But the study was during only 8 months, so I hope I managed to compile that 4 decades of things during 8 months, which has been a very challenging task. Anyway, so the main objectives of this overall study was to identify the key trends in the development of teacher education via ODL at OUSL, how pedagogies have changed, how technologies have impacted, then identify good practices and areas for future developments, and especially to develop and publish a narrative account of the study as a research monograph. That was the first suggestion, but going beyond that, I thought because of so many artifacts that we collected during the study, to publish them in a website as an open access e-resource so that it would be useful for anybody interested in that area to have everything in one place. They are all there, in different places, but putting them all together in one place. So 2 things were done based on the study. So a comprehensive review of literature was conducted on the conceptual and theoretical background and about teacher professional development in changing paradigms, and especially distance teacher education in the Sri Lankan context. I'm not going to go through the whole literature review, which is in the monograph, but it shows how distance education modes have gradually changed from the original correspondence education that has started in the mid-19th century, and now the contemporary online education in the 21st century. The changes that has happened, so many research are there, and how the open movement has had a notable impact on changing these practices, particularly distance education practices, mainly with the establishment of the open universities, from the establishment of the UK Open University in 1969, and the others that followed, including us. So all those things are there, and then there have been so many definitions, theories, models, so many things are there. So considering all, I just got one recent definition combining distance education and ODL together. To highlight this, the whole aim is to lessen this distance or bridge the gap. How to bridge the gap? Not only physically, but the psychological gap in the distance mode. There's this physical gap as well as the psychological gap. How to bridge this gap and to increase interactivity and communication among learners, teachers, and learning resources as well. So that is in general about distance education and ODL, but especially considering teacher education, teacher professional development, initial teacher development as well as continuing development. They are both very important, especially within the changing paradigms of education, especially in the digital age. And open and distance learning provides, it broadens the access, flexibility, and opportunities for these personnel in the teacher education, especially the teachers, both pre-service and in-service, as well as other personnel such as teacher educators, educational administrators. There is a lot of clientele in the field. So empowering these educators through innovative pedagogies and technology integration is a must, especially via ODL. So with that thing, if we look at the history of the distance teacher education within the Sri Lankan context, the literature states that it started in 1972 with the correspondence teacher education program initiated at the Ministry of Education, and later on the External Studies Agency in 1976, again correspondence education, and then slide. Actually, OUSL was established combining this ESA and slide in 1980. And from that date, the two programs have been there. The two programs are the Certificate in Preschool Education and Postgraduate Diploma in Education from the very beginning. After that, there have been other initiatives like Distance Education Unit to clear backlog of untrained teachers by the Ministry of Education, and later on Department of Distance Education, which has been absorbed by NIE when it was established in 1986. Incidentally, I was a teacher who got trained by this distance teacher training program by NIE in 1986. So all these things have happened, but my focus here is on the highlighted one, that is teacher education through ODL, that has happened in the OUSL only. How we have evolved to address the contemporary challenges, aligning with shifts in educational paradigms and driven by technological advancements. So based on the literature review, I came up with this conceptual framework, including the historical context, pedagogical approaches, technological integrations, continuing professional development, which is very important, and managing challenges, of course. It's a very challenging process. How do we manage challenges and the transformational changes that have occurred and that are happening? So the methodology, the study context is our Faculty of Education, which has been established in February 2003 as a faculty, but as a unit of education, we have been there since 1980. So since then, we have offered a wide range of teacher education programs from certificate level to postgraduate level through the ODL mode. And we are one of the key providers of initial and continuous professional development in Sri Lanka for school teachers, principals, teacher educators, education administrators, and many other personnel in the field of education. This study adopted documentary research methodology, which is a qualitative method involving examining and interpreting data to uncover meaning and gain understanding. So it was a systematic investigation and a methodological analysis of existing articles and artifacts, supported with semi-structured interviews with selected group of participants, academics, former and current academics of the Faculty of Education, to triangulate data and verify findings. These are the research questions that guided the study. What are the key trends in the development of teacher education via ODL at OUSL? How have the pedagogical approaches changed? What changes have happened in the integration of technology? What is the impact of ODL practices? And what are the good practices and areas for improvement? So the two methods were used, these documentary review and semi-structured interviews, and content analysis and interpretation happened. Then document research included both online, electronic and non-electronic sources, because there were a lot of, the early days when we didn't have the technology, computer technology, most of the things were published in print. So we had to search for them as well. And using keyword searching, we did that actually with the support of my assistants, research assistant. And interview participants included 14 participants, 7 each from maintaining a gender balance, as well as maintaining a balance between retired academics and currently in service academics, 7 each. There was a variation who have joined the OUSL in the very origin, 1980s, and up to 2023. So considering this range, majority were in the 2001-2010 range, and experience, there were 2 with 20 years or more, and 1 with less than 10 years, majority were with 10 to 19 years. So ethical considerations, yes, I got the research ethics committee approval prior to the commencement of the study, and all the ethical aspects were adhered to. I limited this study, as I mentioned, only to teacher education via ODL at OUSL during this period, and the historical development mainly focused on the pedagogical advancements and technology integrations. Accessible articles were reviewed predominantly in English. There would have been others which were not inaccessible, but we tried our best. And then semi-structured interviews only with 14 participants, and the duration was only 8 months. Okay, so the key findings, I will quickly show you how I have presented the key findings in the monograph under these topics and subtopics. Because I am not going to go through all these things because it will take a lot of time, but this is a summary of the key findings about the journey from a unit to a faculty. That's really interesting. Even I got to know a lot of things that has happened throughout this journey. I'm not going to go into details because Professor Lekambia is here to give a reflection on that journey, who has been there since the 1980s. So she has a lot more experience than me, so I will leave her to reflect on that journey. But what I saw was, we started with just 3 academics, but with 2 study programs, large number of students, and 3 centers. It has been really, really challenging, and especially in the distance mode, which was a totally novel thing at that time. So how we have progressed, I should emphasize it's mainly due to the dedication and commitment of those individuals who were there at that time, and those who have taken decisions, taken the leadership that have paved the way to us today. And progression after becoming a faculty in 2003, and research and innovative initiatives that we have been doing, and how we have always tried to facilitate learning at a distance, especially in teacher education. That's very challenging because we have the teaching practice, the practical components, how to develop the competencies. It's very challenging. At the beginning, actually, people have sort of had certain reservations also about the distance mode, how you are going to do this in the distance mode, but we have managed to overcome all these, address all those challenges, and especially using this learning-centered and practitioner-oriented, because they are practitioners. These are our target group of practitioners, so we have to develop their competencies. So how we have used practitioner-oriented pedagogical approaches and designing meaningful learning experiences, which is totally different from these conventional teaching and learning processes adopted in the conventional universities. Within the ODL, how we have adopted meaningful learning experience design to promote authentic or linking with their real life practices. And of course, technology integration initially the audio video integration set me in the name of Educational Technology Division has been there from the very beginning, and they have helped us a lot in producing audios, videos in the 1980s even, and sending them to the centers. There were 3 centers functioning at that time, Colombo, Kandy and Jaffna. This Education Technology Division has helped us a lot. And later on, interactive multimedia integration, and moving on to online and blended learning, which we are doing today. And key trends, I will just give a summary of the key trends, the upholding good practices, and what we are hoping to do in the future. But I would like also to highlight, I added this in today morning actually, because I thought it's good. We have done a lot of first things. Even the very first convocation of the OUSL was only with PGD students, some 500 odd PGD students, and I noticed, I got this information from the annual reports of the OUSL, so they are accurate. So the 1986, 1987, 1988, the first 3 convocations have been done only with PGD awardees. I think that's a great thing. Then the first, in the university system, we are the second faculty of education, the first one being the University of Colombo Education, and there's only still 2 faculties of education in Sri Lanka. But we have developed several first departments in the Sri Lankan university system: Department of Early Childhood Education, Special Needs Education, Education Leadership and Management, and several first type of unique degree programs like B.Ed in Natural Sciences, the first interfaculty program in this university, and B.Ed in Drama and Theatre program, which is another unique program, B.Ed in Primary Education, Special Needs Education, M.Ed in Special Needs Education. And also, very unique program is this MATE international program, which we developed with the support from the Commonwealth of Learning, which was the first program without this traditional final examination mode. So that was done in 2003, around, even before that we started developing that. So even at that time, we have done these innovative things, and of course, about technology, first fully online standalone course, first OER integrated online courses, first online selection test, and first online open book examination during the COVID period. So these are some examples. I'm sure there are many more. These are the things that came into my mind, to add in the morning to this slide. I think we are proud, actually we are proud of these things that we were able to do. So if we compare then and now, okay, we started as 1 unit, and now we are a faculty with 4 departments, and we are hoping to have another department in the future, hopefully. And number of study programs, as I mentioned, from full study programs, started with 2, now we have 12, and there are 3 or 4 more developing currently. Number of courses, number of centers from 3, now we cater to, almost all centers, 26 centers actually. The number of staff, started with only 3, but now we have 35. Still the numbers, you can see the number of students large, 800 plus even at that time. Now we have 8,000 plus, almost coming to 9,000 I believe. This is with restrictions, we have the selection test too. There's a high demand for certain programs, there's a very high demand, as many of you already know. But we have to limit because of the limited staff allocation. But we try our best to, because we have to maintain the quality versus quantity. So I think that's something we have to think about. So number of awardees, always the convocations, sometimes go into 2 days or several sessions because of our large numbers. But that's also with this limited limiting the numbers we enroll. Right. Okay, so this is the statistics I got from the examinations division. The accumulated student output by 2023, PG diplomas, it's almost 40,000. It's around 37,000 teachers we have developed, in-service teachers, right? So PG diplomas. Then the next one is the certificate and advanced certificate, where preschool teachers have been developed, around 15,000. The others are lesser, like master's degrees, diplomas, and B.Ed degrees. Now these are in tens of thousands, right? Mind. So the overall, if you consider all these categories, now this teacher educators is also a special thing that we are doing. So overall, it's closer to 60,000, right? So I think that's a quite big number that we are doing with the support of a lot of external resource persons, and the work is more because you have to coordinate and you have to train all these external resource persons as well, in addition to the teachers and teacher educators. Right, so I'll be quick in summarizing the upholding good practices that we have maintained. We have promoted these ODL practices from the very beginning, providing this ladder of opportunities for students from the certificate level to move on, progress through the ladder up to the PhD level. There are examples. Our dean herself is an example, I believe, from the undergraduate to the dean position she now has. Well, I have also been in the university as a student, and so there are many in our faculty who have progressed through that ladder, and there are many who are still doing that. And in the system there are so many. I know, if I may say, Professor Manjula is one of our alumni. So there are so many others. In the ministry also there are our alumni and current students as well. So it's this ODL practices of providing access and opportunities for professional development. I think that's a huge thing, and not just doing it in a traditional way, but adopting innovative learning-centered pedagogical approaches. For example, the scenario-based learning. I believe Professor Lekamge will be talking about that. And in innovative novel technologies, integrating novel technologies, maintaining learner support, because teachers need a lot of support, like the mentoring. I believe Professor Lekamge would be mentioning about that as well. And not only that, social needs. Now we have these centers, Child Study Center, the Center for Child and Adolescents at Risk Support Center, and the preschool, model preschool. So these are also doing so many things to address the societal needs, which is in our vision as well, and providing CPD opportunities for our own faculty to develop their competencies. Because our faculty has to develop, to learn, unlearn, and relearn, and inculcating a research culture. Our former deans have been very particular about inculcating, especially I should remember here our late Professor Chandra Gunawardena, very particular about inculcating this research culture, and of course maintaining the quality and managing challenges and promote resilience. So those are the good practices I have identified, and the way forward for the future. Okay, we shall continue designing teacher education programs and courses based on solid theoretical grounds with an appropriate blend of content, pedagogy and technology, design of multimodal learning environments, and of course using blended, hybrid, and now we are talking about high flex modes as appropriate, exploring emerging technologies such as maybe integrating artificial intelligences. Actually, we are discussing about adopting micro-credentials soon in one of our novel programs. And promoting, we have a lot of collaborations with international organizations. From the very beginning, we have been, developing these professional learning networks, not only within Sri Lanka, but with a lot of international organizations, especially with Commonwealth of Learning. So we have done lots of initiatives with the support of Commonwealth of Learning and SEMCA. and others like AAOU, and these learning networks is very important. Integration of open education resources and open education practices, regular reviews and evaluations to improve ourselves, promoting research, especially action research and design-based research, because those are the very useful types of research for practitioners, for us and our students, and adopting universal design for learning, UDL approach in teaching and learning. So with that, there are key, I managed to, I think, give a summary of the whole thing. So the research monograph will be launched today by the Vice Chancellor online. It's an advanced publication. Hopefully it will be published in the near future, probably as a Commonwealth of Learning and OUSL joint publication, or co-publication, I don't know, so that's happening, but this is an advanced publication. And that research website, where we have not only, collated these research articles, but organized them in different categories, chronologically, subject-wise, study level-wise, publication-wise, in different ways, so that it will be easy for those who are searching for information to find find the information they need. Right. So finally, our vision. I don't expect you to read this, but I will give a summary of this. Our vision for teacher education via ODL at OUSL. This is in a concept map form, which is another strategy we are using with our students. So in summary, if I summarize what's in that concept map, our endeavor is to enhance transformational change in teacher education via ODL at the OUSL, which can be achieved by fostering a community of practice, because we are all working together towards a shared goal, towards excellence, efficiency and equity. That is our university's target as well, offering lifelong opportunities for teachers, teacher educators and other personnel in the field of education through open, flexible and distance learning methods, and by adopting a systems approach to planning and development. So this is the vision. I think we have been, throughout this 40 years, we have been doing that. So I would like to pay tribute to all those forefathers and foremothers, if I may say so, all those who have provided that solid foundation for us. Actually, our founder, I have here today, I wish to share with you the blessings of our founder, head of the education, Professor Elsie Kotalawala. She's 96 years old now, but she sends her blessing. She gave me a message included in the monograph. I think that's a great thing. Because of the untiring efforts, we are here today. And especially I would like to mention about Professor Chandra Gunawardena, who, even though she joined late, but she played a big role in making us a faculty. And so many others who are not with us today, and who are with us today, so many. I don't want to give a list of names. I put the list of names of all key administrative officers, but not only administrative, all academic and non-academic, academic support, administrative, everybody work together. Still we are doing that as one family. I think that's the strength in our faculty, which we have to continue, as I believe. So our journey continues towards the future. Right. I would like to, even though there's a vote of thanks coming at the end, I think personally I should appreciate very briefly, especially Commonwealth of Learning, for giving me this opportunity to do this task. It has been a huge task, massive task, but with all this support from all these entities and individuals, I was able to complete it. So I would like to especially thank Dr. Tony Mays and Director Education of Commonwealth of Learning, and especially Dr. Jacko Olivier, who has been continuously in contact with me. Thank you, Jacko, for continuous interactions, because he has been coordinating the culture activities, still continuing. And of course, the Open University of Sri Lanka, the Vice Chancellor, who recommended me for a culture position, and also for all the support you are giving me, and all the senior management, everybody. I'm not going to give all the names, but all the entities, in the university, and especially Faculty of Education, Dean and the heads, and all academic, non-academic support, staff, AR, everybody, and the interview participants, the 14, I think they gave me a lot of valuable information. The reviewers, of the monograph and the website commentators who have given useful commentaries, who are going to give some reviews today as well and gave in writing to be included in the monograph. The language editor, Ms. Kaushala, helped me with editing the monograph, and especially I like to thank my research assistant, Ms. Nawala, and my IT assistant, Ms. Palika, who played a big role with me today, because we had to, I always have these self-imposed deadlines, and those deadlines are imposed to the others as well automatically. So that's why we were able to complete this within this short period of time. And of course my family, without the unconditional support of my husband, I won't be able to do all these things, working until 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. So all those things are there. So I appreciate all of your support, and thank you very much for all of you for, sorry if I have taken a lot of time, but I want to thank all of you for your presence today, physically as well as online. Thank you very much. I hope this will give some motivation for the others, especially in our faculty, to move forward with this same spirit. Thank you very much.
All right, next on our agenda, we are honored to have Dr. Tony Mays, the Director of Education of the Commonwealth of Learning, joining us via Zoom to share his insights with the audience.
Thank you. Greetings, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished colleagues, distinguished guests, and congratulations to Prof. Shironika on the publication that she's launching today. As some of you may know, I recently came into the position of Director of Education at Cole, where I look after the coordination of our activities in open schooling, teacher education, higher education, the virtual University of Small States of the Commonwealth, and also our cross-cutting technology-enabled learning. But I started my professional career many years ago as a classroom teacher, and I still identify as a teacher. So it's really important for me that we capture the history of our work with teachers and how over the years we change the way in which we engage with teachers as the circumstances change. If you think about it, we have done quite well across the world in getting children into school at the primary school level. But most of us, most countries, are struggling to build enough schools and train and employ enough teachers to be able to take those primary school graduates into secondary schooling. So initiatives that can work at scale, and I see that the Open University of Sri Lanka now has over 8,000 students. This is the only way we can capacitate enough teachers. But if you think about it, in most countries, we have large and growing numbers of young people who are not in employment or education and training, because we simply can't build enough schools. We simply can't train enough teachers. We simply can't employ enough teachers to fill the schools that we do build. So the future is obviously for secondary level to have more blended and online learning provision of distance education. So by training teachers through open and distance learning methods, we are actually practicing what we preach. And I think that's a really, really positive message that we need to take forward. So the Commonwealth of Learning is very supportive of these kinds of initiatives, that we train teachers through ODL to increasingly use ODL methods to reach more and more learners. If you think about the experience of the recent pandemic, which closed our campuses, the only continuity that we managed was in countries where we had some form of open schooling, where we had a cadre of teachers able to segue into blended and online learning, to be able to support learning continuity that was offline or online now and again. And so capturing the story of how we have transformed our engagement with teacher education over the years is really important, so that we do not lose the lessons of experience. One of the things that's really concerned me a little recently is there are so many publications around online learning that talk about issues that we have been talking about in distance education for 30 or 40 years as though we don't have a history. So it's really important that every so often we stop, we reflect, as Prof. Sharonika has done, on the journey that we have taken. What have we learned over the years? How have those lessons of experience informed the way in which we should move forward? So I'd like to congratulate the Open University of Sri Lanka on working with Cole to produce this monograph. And I look forward to, once it's formally published, sharing it with all my colleagues across the Commonwealth and beyond. So congratulations to Prof. Sharonika and congratulations to the Open University of Sri Lanka. Back to the chair.
Next, we are delighted to have Dr. Jacko Olivier, Advisor on Higher Education of the Commonwealth of Learning, join us again via Zoom. Dr. Olivier will offer a review of the research project, highlighting its significance.
Thank you very much, Chair. Dear Vice-Chancellor of the Open University Sri Lanka, Professor Tilakratne, management and colleagues from the Open University of Sri Lanka, other invited guests, Dr. Tsaini Mays, Director Education, Commonwealth of Learning, and finally, Commonwealth of Learning Chair and Senior Professor Shironika Karununyaka. It's a privilege to join you all on this auspicious occasion. Thank you for the kind invitation to be part of these proceedings, and greetings from Vancouver, Canada. The Commonwealth of Learning, or COL, appoints distinguished experts as COL chairs to advance research, innovation, and thought leadership in COL's fields of competence. The program was initiated specifically to facilitate the development of effective open distance learning and technology-enhanced education and training through advocacy, research, and capacity building in the Commonwealth. Also, to strengthen the regional cooperation, and finally, to provide visibility for COL in the field. These honorary positions form part of the Commonwealth of Learning's knowledge expertise. I represent the Higher Education Initiative today, and this Higher Education Initiative supports the 6 current COL chairs, and this is our link between the COL chair and the intergovernmental organization, Commonwealth of Learning. But back to the publication. This publication and the work done around it by Professor Sharonika aligns very well with COL's aim to create and widen up access to opportunities for learning, making use of the potential offered by distance education and by implication also the use of technologies. I had the privilege to read the monograph presented today prior to its publication. In this publication, Professor Sharonika presented the transformational journey of teacher education through open and distance learning at the Open University of Sri Lanka. The publication serves as a unique and well-researched case from which other distance learning and hybrid mode institutions can definitely draw and inform their teacher training programs. This book charts a very comprehensive account of the establishment of the Faculty of Education. The carefully crafted account shows the progression of the faculty, which mirrors international developments, and that stood out for me as well, in how the differences in technology is reflected in this institution as well, in terms of what was happening outside. The details around pedagogical designs, approaches throughout the discussion, and shows that the faculty's development process, and they are particularly valuable. The publication also includes a very useful overview of technology integration initiatives in teacher education. The significant practices of the Faculty of Education can definitely be of value to similar faculties and departments in other countries, as Director Tony Mays also indicated. In this regard, this faculty has successfully promoted ODL and supported innovative pedagogical approaches that incorporated learning and learner-centered pedagogies, employing novel technological developments and even open educational resources, something that COL also supports. All of this towards enhancing and sharing content that in an equitable manner. A further significant element is learner support and through specifically contextualized entities. The monograph concludes with an overview of key findings and some recommendations for the future. Building on a strong foundations and through purposeful and good collaboration across different levels of the faculty, sustained progress is evident. Importantly, the faculty has adjusted and critically engaged with global technological and pedagogical developments towards enriching ODL at this institution. The study recommends that teacher education courses be based on strong theoretical foundations and that they are meaningfully designed, amongst many other recommendations that are made that are truly useful. In conclusion, this publication not only provides a valuable overview of the exceptional and truly transformational journey of teacher education through ODL at OUSL, it also makes an important contribution to the scholarship of ODL, Open Distance Learning, in Sri Lanka and a wider education context. Furthermore, this monograph presents a good balance of both historical and general theoretical content that would be of value to many ODL institutions and practitioners. Finally, the recommendations presented here are highly relevant and applicable to the wider ODL discourse. Congratulations, Professor Shironika, and thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
With great respect, please join me in welcoming Emeritus Professor G.D. Lekange, former Dean of the Faculty of Education, the Open University of Sri Lanka. She will be sharing her reflections on teacher education at the Open University of Sri Lanka.
Okay. Good morning to all of you. Vice Chancellor of the Open University of Sri Lanka, Dean Faculty of Education, Co-Chair and Senior Professor Shironika Karunanayaka, all the directors and other representatives from the Open University of Sri Lanka, and heads of departments, professors, senior lecturers, and all other people who are present today. I am really honored by having this opportunity to share some of my reflections with you about ODL towards teacher education, and I would like to thank Professor Shironika for giving me this opportunity. Of course, my reflections go back to the time that I was able to get an appointment at the education unit as an assistant lecturer in the Open University, and also at that time I can remember we had only 2 teacher education programs offered by the education unit. This was a part of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences at that time. Only very few members had confidence on ODL, and of course they were from traditional universities, but some of them had confidence on ODL and the material, because we have to update them within every 8 or 10 years. And characteristics of our students, of course they are adults and most of them are ladies. Therefore, they have a lot of other responsibilities in their work, as well as they have a lot of household responsibilities. Therefore, they give less priority for their studies, and also high turnaround time of assignments. Even though we applied several strategies like having activity-based assignment day schools, now still we are having this problem. And also how far we have tried to introduce some communication and information technologies. there is resistance from this adult community. And also addressing the changing need of the clientele. We are very slow in accommodating the needs of our clientele. Therefore, I think we have a long way to go at the support of the Vice Chancellor and all of you who are gathered here. We will try to achieve our target as an ODL institution to fully apply all the ODL technologies. Thank you very much.
Next on our agenda, we have a very highly anticipated moment, the launch of 2 significant outputs from our research study. We are proud to present the research website and the advanced publication of the research monograph. We kindly invite our Vice Chancellor, Senior Professor PMC Tilakaratne, to launch these.
From 1980s.
Now, let's welcome our distinguished chief guest to address the gathering. Dear sir, as always, we are truly honored to have you here with us today. I cordially invite Senior Professor PMC Tilakaratne, Vice Chancellor of the Open University of Sri Lanka, to address the gathering.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction. Very good morning once again to everyone. Still morning, 11:30. Director PGIE and Dean Faculty of Education, Co-Chair and Senior Professor in Education Technology, Professor Shironika Karunanayaka, Emeritus Professor G.D. Lekamge, our Director Research, Director Center for Technology and Media, heads of the departments, professors, and all other academic staff members. Again, we have online participants representing COL, Dr. Tony Mays, Director Education, and Dr. Olivier, Advisor Higher Education COL, and all other distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. I thought that I should not speak because what I wanted to speak that I cut short because due to the time duration plus 5 deliberations. I learned a lot during this, that of course 1.5 hours about the journey of the Open University, the Faculty of Education, from what is known as inception of the open and distance learning, Roneo study material to the printed AV, and today of course that electronic classroom up to that extent. Now first of all, it's again my distinct pleasure because to congratulate our Senior Professor Shironika Karunanayaka. Of course, once again 2023, of course she has been appointed as a COL-Chair. So it's that again one of the another credentials to the Open University of Sri Lanka, recognition by the Commonwealth of Learning. So it's not, the journey is not easy because COL-Chairs are not that appointing simply. They have a rigorous process of that evaluating research profiles and the contributions to the higher education sector. So therefore the COL of course that selected her, and thereafter as the annual research plan, of course, she did the comprehensive research and compiled the monograph, and this monograph of course explored the transformative journey of teacher education at OUSL through the lens of open and distance learning, spanning 4 decades. I think that 41 years, 4 decades of innovation and adaptation. This journey is characterized by a relentless pursuit of excellence, driven by the commitment to empower educators with the knowledge, skills, and dispositions necessary to thrive in the 21st century. So, I would like to say, because I'm very pleased, I always used to say now today we are living in a 21st century. Of course, teacher education, the ODL, in the future, of course, the Open University of Sri Lanka only govern the teacher education according to my view. Because today, let's say for example, now I heard, I did not travel by bus, but I heard that, okay, now this is the bus hold of, that what is called Vallavatta weaving mill. Please get down. Who is shouting? Conductors. Do we have, that weaving mill at Vallavatta now? We don't have. Right? Now, in the sense that in the future of, that education, especially the teacher education, what I, that believe, buildings will be there and expertise within the OUSL. Then teachers will be trained throughout the country through the that open distance learning and flexible learning method, ODFL today, as you said. So therefore, we need to develop, as that Professor Lekam Gay, of course, all reflected the journey of the 41 years. So with the that all investments from the university, though the government is not that funding, right, as we are expecting, but that we need to explore all the opportunities to elevate this university up to that level. Because what I am saying like this, day before yesterday, for a different proposal, the Minister of Education phoned me and said that, Vice Chancellor, I just returned from the USA. And he said that he visited University of Illinois, and especially what is called that he requested Illinois professors to come forward to help for Sri Lanka for teacher education, teacher training, because they are that going for, I'm not going to that of course reveal, but that you are very much aware the proposal of that education university, and again awarding associate degrees, and a lot of proposals are there. So in between that, since that we count wealth of experience of 41 years of that teacher education, what would be our role as the Open University of Sri Lanka? We should be the pioneers of course training of trainers for the whole country and to the world as well with this expertise. That's what I believe, that one. That's my firm belief as well. So then therefore, I think that with this expertise and what this research of course focuses on, I'm not only confined to the research on the teacher education. Professor Shironika Karunanayake, of course, expressed how that compiled this monograph with that all the aspects of teacher education. So therefore, I just jotted down. It's all what is called documentary based research, but I thought that it is not only the documentary based research, it's a pioneering research. First time that you have conducted, that this kind of compiling the previous information is not an easy task. So therefore, research always plays a crucial role in the field of education, because we all are here today due to the education. So serving as the foundation for informed practices, policies and innovations that ultimately enhance learning outcomes and educational systems of a country and the world. Here are some of the key ways in which research is vital of education. This monograph addresses almost that all aspects. That is evidence-based practice. As a heart of educational research, I believe always it is a pursuit of evidence-based practice, because research allows educators to understand what works, why and under what conditions. It helps of identifying effective teaching methods and learning strategies. We need to have different learning strategies. Let's say, for example, today the young generation learning strategies are different. I that observed my that own residence, my second son, and he never that read the book, always that sleeping on our settee and looking at the mobile. Then I asked, what you are doing? You are a low student. What you are doing? All the time you that of course that laid down on the settee, right? And then that like this, always reading, looking at the mobile. No, don't worry, father, this is what I did. I that all, let's say, taken photographs, scanned, and it is on my mobile, inside the mobile, and I'm learning. I don't want. Other one did the MBA at the Colombo University, very recent past. All recordings that going on. He is sleeping. I asked that, what that you are doing again? Right? Then he said, no, those are all, father, now electronic world. I have recorded session. When I have free time, I will that of course refer to those material. I have a knowledge. So this is what I want to mention. Learning styles are changing. It's dynamic. This dynamics we need to understand first. So therefore, now assessment techniques. Again, we talked about AI. Still that we are not that up to that, but I'm very happy to learn that, because during the COVID period, what is called open book examination system that we have introduced, right? But proposed by as a separate annexure by the education faculty. That's what I am happy. Then with that we need to ensure this that best practices, right, to again implement here in Sri Lanka, as well as best practices to again share with other countries as well. Then this is important again, education research for the policy formulation, because education research is critical for the development of sound education practices. That's why I said, now this is the only university, I always that used to say, this is the only university, of course scattered throughout the country. She said that, Professor Lekamge, teachers are that of course more than 95%, of course that females, right? So then they are having, let's say, family commitment, teaching that all whatever preparations, then school that whatever the administrations, that now schools are very complex than the universities. So therefore with that, our that system is the best that system for that in the future going for teacher training through the that ODFL. Then therefore, let's say, policy makers, whatever this research with data and insights necessary to make informed decisions that affect millions of learners in the future. Then curriculum development. Are we developing, let's say, our education system, of course that annual let's say delivery method and assessment method and thereafter, of course, proposed to that Carnegie credit system, semester-based system, right? And then that the earlier, when the semester-based system, we have bi-semester system in Sri Lanka still, but other countries gone for trimester system, and again 4-semester system. And yesterday I was reading another article where that they are reducing with the that ODFL the what is called time duration for the first degree, not like that our degrees, even the MBBS degree in Canada, it is now 4 years. Engineering 4 years now. Now they are discussing to, of course, reduce what is known as engineering degrees to the 3 years. Through what? Through the technological advancements. So therefore, that's why this research is important for the what is known as curriculum development. Then the professional development is other part. And then she said very specifically, technological integration, because research always drives the integration of technology in education by assessing its impact on student learning and engagement. That's why I have given some examples, because we need to devise our open and distance learning, teaching and learning practices, which always to win the hearts of the learners. So it is not like that we are delivering a speech to the Zoom meeting. It should be interactive. That's why I said in my that speech, we need to that of course do an investment for that how that we blend technology into this delivery in the future. Then again, addressing inequality is that the bridge is the ODL, because we know that our country still that a poor country. Even we cannot call Jaffna teacher or that Mathara teacher or the Hambantota teacher to come to Colombo for the assessment. So therefore that of course yes, that our that academic staff is visiting to those places, but that we need to have this that this gap we need to reduce through the that of course adapting much more that ODL techniques in the future. And learning environment, we need to create learning environment. When I say not learning environment within the university, where that place where we deliver through the what is called the smart classroom, but within that we need to create an atmosphere. Learner also that of course create that suitable atmosphere at their own residence as well. I that heard one of the students, both husband and wife, participated for that of course that is that online delivery, but that according to this term here terminology, day schools, and said that, sir, we are having 3 kids at home, but that we need to learn. My mother and father is looking after this 3 kids, but we cannot come to the university now because transport cost is very high. But what we do, when you are delivering a session early in the morning, that get ready like that they are leaving from home, from the front door, and then again from the back door, entering into the house, infiltrate in the house, without without that giving the message to the 3 kids, they are within the home, right? But they are that study. You understand that atmosphere? We never that thought of that. The perception of the learner, we need to think of that while that devising our that delivery. So then it's very that of course very good story, where that the kids are not knowing at 12 only, very suddenly that when the parents all that of course present at home soon after the session. You understand? Again from the front door they are enter into the home. So this is what the today that education, that is the learning environment. Then that global perspective, we are that always addressing. The world become increasingly interconnected now. That's why today call that all that officers, of course, connected with us. Education research help in understanding and integrating global perspectives into learning. This is crucial for preparing students to operate in a global economy, fostering international understanding and cooperation. I think that I should not speak much, but because lot of deliberations, everyone is now that tired about listening, but this is the university I need to tell you, and the education faculty is the the benchmark for the other faculties and the other universities in the future. With this that of course rich, I use the wealth of experience, but still we need to share, we need to disseminate our strength to the all stakeholders in the future. So I would suggest at this end, with this expertise, we have that again Senior Professor Sirunika Karunanayaka, and then other that all heads of the departments and professors and the all academics, they are highly committed. We need to of course that organize an international conference outside the OUSL, invite in these policymakers of this country, including Minister of Education, to convince them the expertise of the that expertise possessed by the that Open University of the disseminating all that teacher education, whatever that training programs. It may be as Professor Lekamge said, from certificate to the PhD. So we will be able to that disseminate and convince policymakers the strength of the OUSL. Then I hope that once that we disseminate, they will that understand. Unless that we are of course that communicating and convincing to them, they would not understand the role of the Open University of Sri Lanka, why in that of course educating teachers and the that again students as well. So therefore in a sense, I again really appreciate first of all once again Commonwealth of Learning supporting this research, and also allocating a distinguished Commonwealth of Learning chair to the Open University of Sri Lanka, and appointing for this prestigious chair Senior Professor Sirunika Karunanayaka. And of course this research is now widely available for that now users or readers or the researchers, lot of research insights for the future as well. I mean, this research is not that going to be an end research. Based on this research, another research and another research would start. So I invite all the that newcomers and our that researchers and intellectuals to engage in reading this material and to take forward much more research, and then connected with the Open University of Sri Lanka to of course that disseminate much more research information, because we are looking in the future very soon that we will establish Faculty of Graduate Studies in this university, plus and our that firm belief and that strong aspiration is that within another 3 to 4 years time, we will, through this research, we will enter into the high, what is called that Times Higher Education ranking and QS ranking, and that other that ranking, because the thing is that ranking is the now another what is called the barometer or the measure of let's say placing universities, and that then again funding for the research for the university as well. So therefore once again I appreciate that your of course comprehensive work, and again organizing this kind of an event to disseminate information, and I hope with this all efforts again among the faculty, among the that faculties in the university, so education faculty will explore much more opportunities for the teachers as well as other that learners in Sri Lanka and in the world, because that we are looking early in the morning also I discussed how to bring down international students, especially from China, for the education as well. So therefore that we are going to teach to Chinese people as well in the future. So thank you very much once again for inviting me for this event, and have a nice day.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we have come to the end of today's program. I would like to invite Professor F.M. Nawala, Head of the Department of Secondary and Tertiary Education, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Dear Vice Chancellor, Director PGIE, Director Research, Director SETME, Heads of the Departments, all invited guests, and ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today we gathered here to witness the significant event on the teacher education via ODL at Open University of Sri Lanka, as part of the culture research study conducted by our senior Professor S.P. Karunanayake. Under this project, Senior Professor Karunanayake played a significant role in gathering and disseminating crucial information about teacher education via ODL at OUSL by developing a website that digitalized important publications related to the teacher education via ODL in Sri Lanka. Additionally, our senior Professor Sironika Karunanayake compiled the research monograph which will facilitate in future endeavor. Thank you very much for your great contribution, Professor. You are an exemplary role model for us. On this occasion, I would like to express our appreciation to our chief guest, Senior Professor PMC Tilakaratne, the Vice Chancellor of the Open University of Sri Lanka, for gracing this occasion amidst his busy schedule. Thank you very much, sir, for your encouragement and support. I would also like to extend our appreciation to Commonwealth of Learning for all the support extended, especially Dr. Tony Mays, Director Education at the Commonwealth of Learning, and Dr. J.A.K. Oliver, Advisor Higher Education, who conducted a review of research project. Thank you very much, Dr. Tony Mays and Dr. J.A.K. Oliver, for your kind support and online participation at this event. Furthermore, our heartfelt thanks to go to the Emeritus Professor G.T. Lekamge, former Dean, Faculty of Education at Open University of Sri Lanka, for providing a reflection on teacher education at Open University of Sri Lanka. Thank you very much for your insight. I would like to express my thanks to all the invitees guests for gracing us with the presence. My heartfelt thanks go to SETME staff for their assistance with photography and video recording. I extend my appreciation to the IT staff for their invaluable support. I am also grateful to the Finance Division for their generous support. I also wish to thank the Dean Faculty of Education for her invaluable support in organizing this event successfully. A special thanks goes to the language editor, Kausalya Pereira, research assistant and IT assistant of the project team, assistant registrar of the Faculty of Education, and all other academic and non-academic members of the Faculty of Education for their efforts in making this event success. I would like also to express my thanks to our compare of this event, Purnima Veerasinghe. Finally, I would like to express our thanks to all the participants, both in person and online, for their presence and the participation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. With that, we formally conclude today's event. We extend a kind invitation for you to join for refreshments in the lobby. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.